Hi all, good evening. I'm audible, guys.
Yes.
Yeah, yes,
Okay.
yes. Hi, sir. Good
Yeah,
evening.
hi guys. How are you?
Good, good. How are you?
Okay, good, doing great. All right. So this is a orientation call, basically a demo call. The batch will start. The batch will commence from Monday. That's 11th of this month, April. Uh, the next week on Monday. So this is just a introductory class, or you can say it as a demo class. So the class is basically to to keep a more interactive and to clear all your doubts regards to automation, or if you have any queries about automation, or if you want any sort of any piece of information from my side, feel free to let me know so that I can give you some pointers. What is best? How do you start? How do you get started? What are the required tools? What resources you need to start with your automation, right? So you know that automation is everywhere these days, no matter enterprise, data center, security, cloud. So a lot of people have a lot of concern in their mind. Should we start learning programming, or should we have to write pieces of code or a bunch of code? So I want you guys to introduce yourself and let me know what you think about automation. What's your interpretation about automation? Have you worked on any automation? What is your expectation from this batch, so that I can customize it accordingly, and I can also share my input to you guys. Yes, so who is going first? Yes, guys, come on.
Hi, I'll go first. My name is Kedar. Uh, I am working as a senior network engineer at AT&T. So we are starting to automate a lot of stuff nowadays. And I worked on automation in past while I was working for Amazon. So I am familiar with like basic stuff. But if you tell me to go and write an entire module or something like that, I can't do that. So I need to, get a basic understanding of what programming is and how I can, use Python or let's say Ansible to write a code to automate certain stuff. So that's what I'm looking for.
Okay. So, Kedar, what automation have you done in your organization?
So while working for Amazon, I've written scripts on in Python. Basically, so we had like a big library which had all the models defined. So I just use them, and like let's say for example, we used to generate a ticket. So let's say if there's a BGP down or something in network, so how to the tool used to go and check why it went down and when it came up and like that, and generate it and automatically resolve the ticket. So stuff
Oh,
like that automated.
all right, all right. Thanks, Kedar. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes. So, who is going next, guys? What's your interpretation about automation? Yes, come on. We need two to three more participants. So, you guys with me, or you're just participating?
Hello, everyone.
Yeah.
I'm Mustafa. I'm still a student and I'm new to networking. All, but actually, I have done some Python programming and I used Open Daylight controller for my capstone project. But overall, I'm new to networking and automation. What I want to learn is how automation actually is used in enterprises. Do we need to learn to code in Python and use our code, or there are some other tools actually these enterprises use?
Okay, yeah, Mustafa, I'll answer your question. Okay. All right. What about others? Pavan, Nazreen, Vikas.
Hi, Sagar. My
Yeah,
name
have
is
it.
Vikas.
Hi.
So, currently, I have been working for one of the MNC as a network security engineer. So, prior to join the current company, I worked uh, for Cisco Veptela and VeloCloud. So, in terms of like automation, on VeloCloud, I mean, I used to create a template, and again, the profile and template I used to like in terms of provisioning the device and branch. So I used to do that, and uh, I have worked on LTM. So there is a TCL scripting language. So like I write I rule. So basic stuff I have done, but I want to go through this Python and Ansible, like how it works in networking, how automate we can do automation. So that is what I want to learn.
Okay, great, great. All right. So if there is no one, then I'll start up with my presentation. All right. So guys, as you see, my name is Sagar and I am CCNP Devnet certified, and I have 10 plus years of industrial experience, and I'm expertised in enterprise security, data center, and network automation. Uh, so I'll come to this slide, but let me show you guys some examples first. What is automation about? So I'll consider few examples today. Okay, before going towards any theory. So let me show you some examples. Might be one easy example to configure F5 VIP. How many of you worked on F5? How many of you familiar with F5?
Yeah, I have worked.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm working currently on that.
Okay. So how are you creating VIPs on your F5 box?
So most of the
Manually?
time we are going with the GUI, but sometimes we are
Okay.
going through CLI as well.
Today I'll show you a method where in might be 20 seconds you can configure hundreds of VIP.
Oh, that will be
Okay.
great. Yeah, thanks.
Okay. All right. So how many of you have worked on Palo Alto here?
Same, working on it.
Okay. So I'll consider a few examples of Palo Alto as well. And the usual routers, which most of the people might have used. I'll show some scripts here. Okay. So today I'll just show you some scripts, what is automation about. And uh, might be the next demo would be on Monday, so you guys can once again attend that, and I'll just go with some theory on Python or the other usual things. Okay, so today I just want to show you the automation part. How does automation look like, and
Is the
rest will,
practice right?
yeah, today I'll show you some practical examples, and on Monday I'll start up with basics on what is variable, what is data structures. So the class will commence from scratch. Okay, today is just example or practical day. All right,
Okay.
so without any further ado, uh, you guys see F5 dashboard? Okay, so this dashboard, I mean, those people are not familiar. Let me tell you, this is also part of network automation. Sorry, this is also part of network engineering, especially the FI people or the FI engineers work on this. This is to load balance the traffic, and this is the LTM module. These are web, these are profile, etc., etc. So I just don't want to spend time on this. Rather, I will show you guys how would you automate something over on API, okay, application programming interface. So by just running some API over on this particular thing, I can configure anything. Say for example, if I would to do a traditional method, I would have to go, even to create a simple, might be, let's say, health monitor. I have to click on this plus symbol. I have to type whatever as per the change window. I have to select what type it is. Okay. Then it take me to the next redirection, next page. Then I have to, write my own string or whatever test. So even a dashboard is sometimes time consuming. If you given a policy to upload, you have to select source code, destination, service port, and then you upload it. So usually it's step by step, even though it's all visualization, but the time consumption is more in such scenario. But with the API call, I can just configure it in a second. So let's say I go to my uh, API dashboard. It's an application called Postman, and I say that I have to create a HTTP monitor. I'll put my parameters here. I'll say that it's what is the date today? It's April 6th, right? So let's say that I want to configure some health monitors, April 6th, 2022. And this is my send string. The FI health monitor usually use it, and this is the receiving string that I'm expecting, so that the LTM can mark the nodes to be down or up. That is a FI concept. We are not going inside FI. We are trying to automate the configuration. I put the content and then I click on send button here. Okay. So we see the status code as 200. Okay. We get some response. Time to go and check manually if that is configured or not. So let me click here on monitors. Okay, so do you see that monitor configured? So Mangesh and Vikas, you people are familiar with F5. So do you see this? I mean,
Yes, I can.
yeah. So you tell me how much time would you have taken if you have to do it manually, this on the dashboard?
It's
Right?
like 30 seconds, 1 minute max.
Yeah, and if you have 10 different monitors, then 10-20 minutes. But what happens with the Postman method? You just put the payload, you call the API, and it's get configured on the backend. So this is the API method. Okay.
I
Now,
didn't understood the connection between this Postman and F5, so I
I'll
think
tell
I
you.
missed that.
Yes,
Okay.
I'll tell you. Don't worry. So the connection here is very simple. Let me erase this. Okay. Let's say I had F5 box, F5 machine, and over on this side, I had the Postman application. I just send a API call. It got configured, and then I got the response back for it. So this happens over on HTTP protocol. Okay. And who is responsible to do this? It's the API, which is serving the request. I'm going to push the request. The job is getting done, and the reply comes back saying that status 200. Okay. In case if there was some issue, then I might have faced issue like 401 issue or any sort of 5 XXX issue, if there was any issue with the server or client side. and the communication happens over on HTTP. So let's say, for example, if you have F5 configured, you would have accessed it via HTTP so and so, right? I mean, with the F5 IP address, right? So now the same IP I'm using inside the Postman application. You can see here, I have called that IP here. That IP is configured in the backend. So you can see here the IP, and this is the IP 27.53, which is nothing but this IP 172.16.27.53. So that IP is being used here with the required credential, username and password credential, and then I'm making the API call. Once. So this serves as my API call. Now each items or each feature in your dashboard has its own API call. Say for example, if I open up this dashboard, you will see hundreds of functionality. Let's say if you want to click on virtual server list and the plus button, that will have one API call. Okay, let's say I wanted to go to policy and I wanted to see all the policy. Okay, so that will have its own API call. So there will be hundreds of API call to delete or to modify, to create something. It depends on us, the engineers, what we are supposed to do. So I said I want to create it. So I went with the post method. I said this is my F5 machine. This is my F5 dashboard, which I want to configure some health monitors. And then this is the API call that I'm making. And the IP I'm storing in the variable inside the environment variable. And then I just click on send button. It will communicate over on HTTP protocol to the dashboard, and it will just configure it in the backend. So
basically,
yeah.
Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, go ahead, because
Basically, you need a management IP of the F5, and that should be on same network. And you are just doing API configuration on the post application, which you are showing, right?
yes, that's right. Yes. Okay. Yeah. So automation is very simple. Those, if you think that it would have taken another server to configure a lot of things, bunch of configuration, then that's all myth. It's very simple if you know how would you do it. So F5 machine is already configured in your production. You already are taking the dashboard of it with the help of HTTP so and so 1.1.1.1. You just need one more software or one more application called as Postman. Okay, and just run API calls over on that particular F5 management IP, and all the rest of the communication happen. There is no need of any special privilege to be given for in order to do this. It's just your username and password that's required. So if you are a right person, authorized person who is having username and password configured on the F5, then basically you can automate it. And those who don't have it, then they cannot do it. Okay. So for this to work, for this job to work, I had to first authenticate myself. So I had to I have to say that I am so and so person. So I said that I am this user and I am this password. The password which is kept in a variable, and then I made myself as a rightful person, and then you see that it's a status 200. Okay, that means it has detected the right username and password. Then I myself got a token ID. Token ID is like a session ID. So each session there will be some token ID that gets generated. So that token ID I have kept in my window here. So let's say I replace it once again in front of you people. So let's say I keep it here. I save it. Okay. And then I can just verify myself whether it's all good between my automation application and the F5 dashboard. So it looks good. Now it's all up to me. I can just go and pull the basic requirement. I can create VLAN, any self IP. I can create the virtual servers just by sitting on this. So it's all become very easy once we have the basic understanding on how API works.
So all the default route, whatever we do, like the provisioning wise, we can do all the things with the Postman.
Correct. Everything you can do it in the Postman using the API method. Okay.
What
So
about the iRules? If there is a normal redirection is happening, can we define that in the Postman?
yes, you can do that, because it's the same thing, right? You're sending some payload. See, for example, when you're creating some virtual server, you put some payload inside it. You said that you need this virtual server, this IP, this protocol, this pool. So same way with iRule as well. What is your content that will go inside body act as a payload?
No, I mean to say, like I called a virtual server, I created everything. Then I want to redirect HTTP to HTTPS. So in the same virtual server profile only I have to call it, or I have to create a separate iRule?
No, first you will create that iRule and then you map it to the virtual server.
Can we get one example for this? Is it possible?
I'm not sure whether that is part of this collection, because here in this collection I have tested HTTP monitor, pool, TCP profile, and virtual server. Okay, so these are something which I've tested already.
Okay, no worries. Okay. So this is include only for the F5, like with the network devices in this session. I mean to say, in the future classes, everything will be covered, right? With the Postman or with the Python or everything, or only with the specific with the Postman?
No, I'll come to the course content. Give me 5 minutes. Okay.
Sure. Okay.
So I'm just giving some examples as of now, so that you guys know what would be the class look like. So similar way for Palo Alto as well.
We can define. Sorry for bothering again. Can we do with the FortiGate firewall as well, right?
Yes, everything. I mean, any dashboard concept, the logic will remain the same.
Okay, perfect.
Okay. And similar, because see, I'm just considering F5 and Palo because that's like most of the people are using, whereas the same logic you can use for FortiGate and FTD, even any dashboard, even the SDN solution like SD-WAN or ACI for them also.
No, in our environment we have ACI, we have FortiGate, we have Palo Alto and F5, WAF, F5, LTM as well.
Yeah. Okay.
All
right. Okay. So guys, you see here, Palo Alto is also very frequently used, or most of people are using Palo Alto. So let me just show you, might be 2-3 calls here with Palo Alto as well. So first you should get yourself authenticated. You have to regenerate the token key. Okay. And then once everything is fine, then you can just go to the object and you can fetch the detail. Or if you want to create something, let me show you by creating something. Let's say this is April 6. This is 55. Okay, this is the change maintenance window that, let's say, is part of this. And then I update my API call. So this is the dashboard. This is the management IP of API. This is the port number 443. The version of the Palo Alto, which is V10. It's all stored here in the variable. I'll show you completely from scratch in the class how do you set up the Postman, because it needs some basic idea. It's just a 1 day of class to to know the different options here, and then you can use it for any technology. Okay. And let's say I click on send button. So it says that success. Let's go and once verify on the login dashboard. So what's the IP? Let me take the IP of this Palo Alto. So it's 27.130. All right. So what did we do? We configured some object. So let's go to the object and see if the things are configured or not. And those guys who are not familiar with this, just wait for another couple of seconds. I'll show for simple router and switch also, so that you don't feel yourself left out. All right, so let me go to object, address, and do we have the one which we configured? Yeah, do you see this? April 6, testnet April 6 with the IP, manage the maintenance IP, all those things. Yeah. So from sitting on the Postman, you can configure object group, the objects, or you want to configure any interface, user, service, zone, virtual router. You can also push the policy straight away from Postman. Even you don't have to open this. You can also commit it sitting over on the Postman. Everything put together and just run it back to back. If you have multiple APIs to run, then there is an option here called runner. You just select you just select all your API calls in from the CSV file or something. Okay, and just run how many iterations you want and just push it. So let's say if you have to do multiple thing, all 10-20 APIs call, push together all at once. And when you come back and you want to check something manually, if things are good or bad, you can just check once here to verify if all is fine or not. Okay, so these are all API method. This time I thought, let me first tell you guys the API method. So API needs HTTP protocol. Remember that. So these days, you know that all the dashboards, especially like next gen firewalls, Palo Alto or FortiGate or FTD, F5, ACI, SD-WAN, they all are dashboards, graphical interface that runs over on HTTP. Now, with the help of API calls, you can just automate the things. It's very simple when it comes to the dashboard. But what about the traditional router and switches that works on TCP/22 SSH? Let's say router and switches TCP/22, which is nothing but SSH. Can I do a API call here on over on this?
Okay.
Now what you think? So for this we have a good number of Python scripting. Okay, the Python scripting with any network modules, hundreds of network modules are there. I'll be showing a good number of examples in the class. Netmiko, Nornio. Sorry, yeah, go ahead.
Netmiko, Paramiko, and all we can use, right? To connect to
Yeah,
this ship.
yes, correct. They are all SSH capable libraries.
Which one is better, Netmiko or Paramiko?
Netmiko and Paramiko. I would prefer Netmiko because there are a lot of things being hard coded in the backend, which Paramiko doesn't have.
Okay. Also, like, are we going to use Ansible as well?
Yes, right. That's true. So I'm also gonna use my last module of this batch with Ansible, and I'm giving some bonus topic here. For very first time, I'll introduce AWX with Ansible this time, which I have not shown in any group batches. I used to show Ansible, Ansible Galaxy, the Jinja templating, the addocs, the Vault, all these things I used to show. And this used to be the manual method of writing script for Ansible, whereas Ansible also has something called as AWX, which is the dashboard of Ansible.
Oh, interesting.
So I'll show you that part also, how with the help of dashboard you can automate using Ansible.
Okay.
Okay, so there is a lot of things to actually to grab the thing. I'll start with SSH method. I'll consider few routers, switches, and we will start our class with NetMiko module, where I can show you the Python way of automating. So once all participants are familiar with Python method, then I'll move towards Ansible. I'll show the AWX part, which is the second module. And at the very end, I'll show the API method, which I shown you some examples. So this is
quick question.
Guys, yeah, go ahead.
So for this Python, the routers which you are going to access, are they on your in your lab, or like we are doing on like VMwares or something like that?
Yeah, our rack server.
Okay, and we'll have access to those for like practicing.
Yes. So student participant will have 24/7 access for 3 months. Okay. For the batch for this batch. Okay.
Okay. And just like I'll be accessing this from like not in India. So does that matter, or
it doesn't matter? It doesn't matter. These are all over on HTTP.
Okay.
We will give you some URL. You will input this on your browser, some username, password it will ask, and that's all. We'll provide you all the required credentials. You can access it from your browser.
And if it's not working, I can contact anybody like
yes. And yeah, we also have a 24/7 after class technical support team.
Perfect.
Okay,
yeah.
so who will answer your query any part of the time, not only Indian time zone.
Okay, that sounds good. Thank you.
All right, so guys, I shown you the API just because that's a huge thing these days. API, you might think API is not very familiar for you, or API may not be important for you, but trust me, in couple of years, might be 2 to 3 years, when you just start with automation, might be still people are teaching you Paramiko, NetMiko. Already the enterprise would have transitioned to APIs. So learn it before the rest of the world knows about it. Or the reason why I'm telling is the NetMiko or Nornia, they're all built on 22 SSH port number, TCP 22. Nowadays, there are very less people, or there are very less companies who are still using this traditional routers or switches like the 800 series, or these 1600 or 1800, or these devices are all being end of life, and Cisco itself is upgrading it to all its 9000 series. You might have already seen that devices of 3000 have been migrated to respective 9000 series, or anything in 2000 series is so all the upcoming devices are capable of API, which is already capable of running HTTP, though they have SSH. But again, company don't want their engineers to prepare a bunch of code or write scripting of 10, 20, 30 lines. They just want some automated method. The concept of API, just automate it. How you automate is not anyone's not their concern. They just want the change window to happen without any issues at the end.
So quick question about API. So are you going to teach APIs just from Postman, or can we make the calls from Linux server and stuff like that? Like, will that be also?
Yeah, I'll show you from the Postman or any application point of view. Okay. Okay. Normally APIs are integrated these days with some front end also, but the front end is unfortunately not part of this. Okay. Maybe I can show you some demonstration at the end. So if you build some web dashboard of your own, then you can integrate them with all API calls and just push it.
Yeah, like I remember like using curls some one time for doing an API call to a website. So from the
Correct.
Linux, so can
That's
we?
true. I'll show you now itself how basically you get it. So there's a good point about this postman method. So you do see this right now, the API call with
Yeah.
the HTTP method, the payload. So if
Mm.
I click on the snippet button on the right hand side, I
Mhm.
can take the respective curl code, and
Okay.
then I can use any Linux machine. Or if let's say I just take the Python script, then I can just go to that traditional PyCharm, put it, call it. See, if you see here right now, I have very similar uh, Python script taken from this Postman.
Okay.
If someone, yeah. So someone who wants to automate, let's say, what was this for? Yeah, this was about configuring 2 or 3 different pools for F5. So
Mhm.
all in one script, I just run one play button. uh, 2 pools are configured just in fraction of seconds.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we will see everything. We will start with the PyCharm method first, then go toward Ansible, and then we'll go towards the Postman method. The Postman would be the last part here.
Okay. Okay.
And also, if I have not shown you guys the curriculum, all this theory topic, I'll take on Monday. Uh, because I've taken this multiple times on my dashboard, on my demos. And also for Monday, the agenda would be to start with the basic Python, like print, command, variables, all the basic thing which we need as a automation engineer, as a Python automation engineer. We will see all the basic first. We will then start writing. Okay, so let me show for you guys very simple script, might be for router or switches as well. Uh, let's say I have a router. Let's take some IP of it. Show IP int brief. Okay, so this is 28.42 and it has all required SSH configurations. Okay, so it's a transport SSH. I go here and let me show you some script. Okay, these are all rejects and all those things. All right, let me just show you something by editing one of them. Okay, from Netmiko import connect handler. That's the function of Netmiko. I define the dictionary, which is nothing but all the data which I would put up there. Device type, Cisco iOS.
Sorry, I'm not able to see a screen. Are you editing separately?
Yeah, I'm not able. You're not able to see that?
I'm not. I don't know if anybody
We can
else is.
see it.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I think either you got some net issue or just try to reconnect.
Okay. Yeah, I can see now. It went.
Okay.
Yeah, I can.
Okay, so the IP is 172.16, 172.16.28, 42. Right. So let's say 42. What's the username? It's admin. What's the password? It's gonna be Cisco. Okay. We don't need port number because already Netmiko knows that it's by default gonna take SSH 22. We don't need secret until we have any enable secret being configured. And then we just take a SSH using the connect handler function here. So you call that function connect handler. Define the data dictionary. So basically creating a temporary instance of SSH at the rate 172.16.28.42. It will check the device type. It will then push to the base connection where username and password is triggered, and object instance get created, and then you can just push any command like ssh123 send command show IP int brief, and you can just take a capture of a simple show IP int brief of your device, and you just run this program. Okay, so there you go. You have your output from the device without logging to that, straight away sitting on this. You might think that the simple command I could also go to the device and fetch. So what's great about automation? So the great thing about automation is this is just a 0.1% of the scope. You can add multiple IPs here. So think that you have to run show version command or any sort of multiple commands on this, you can do it. So let's say you had a couple of devices to run. Give me 1 second. So let's say I had to run it over on 1,000 devices, okay? Or I had to run at least 10 to different show commands. So I cannot do that by going manual, right? I just have to do it straight away from the script. So that is why this makes it simple. So how would I do that is, let's say I take this out and I keep here in the list multi-device equals to, and I put, some, I'm just trying keeping the same IP so that it will fetch it multiple time. If you have multiple IPs, you can just store it there. Put them all in a for loop for X in multi device. Okay, so all this goes within the for loop. This way. Okay, what am I missing? Okay, this comes here. The new name here for IP is X. So username, password, so and so. All right. And you can just automate this. So let's assume that you had multiple devices and you wanted to fetch sitting in one computer without logging on each one of them. You can make it more interactive by keeping some banners. You can say that I want to print some banners with it. Show IP int brief. Run. So you will see this banner now. Okay. So it's interacting with the boxes and it's connecting over on SSH and it's fetching this. Okay. If you want, might be show you by
Is
taking.
there
Mm-hmm.
a way
go
to
ahead.
make it work on all the switches at the same time in parallel?
They work on a principle one after one connection, not all at a once. If you need all at a once, then you need to go with Nornier module, which has some concurrency feature in them.
Do we gonna cover that?
Yes, we have Nornier as well.
Okay, thank you.
I'm going to show you the complete curriculum. It's on our website. So let's say I keep 2 devices. Okay, so 2 device show IP in brief and so and so. Now I have considered 2 different devices instead of keeping clone of it. So this is first device and this is second device. Let's say you wanted to execute or you wanted to run multiple commands. So let's make a list of it. So let's say this is my first command and I want to run might be show R or let's go with show clock or something. I call it as for Y in CM and DS commands. Then I'll bring them in a indentation block 2. Okay, and instead of keeping anything in static, let's keep it in a dynamic using the variables. Okay, now this is a example of nested for loop scenario. And let's run this. So 2 different devices and 2 different commands to fetch. So we have the first device, first output, the second output, then it moves to the second device, first command, and then so on with the second device and the second command, which was show clock. Now you can save it to a notepad, you can save it to an Excel, you can read from an Excel, you can take the credentials from here. Let's say now some folks would say that I don't want to reveal my credentials. So yes, you take that out if you don't want to store it. So you can say that enter the password. So when you do this, your script is gonna prompt you for the password. Enter the password, you're gonna say Cisco, and then the execution happens. For the second device, so and so, then the execution happens. Now someone might say, if there are 100 devices, should I type the password again and again? No, you don't have to do it. If you know basics, if you just keep out the things somewhere else and bring that variable here, so just give the credential once and then that will repeat for all multiple devices. You don't have to redo it. You want to remove them from the script and keep it elsewhere. You want to keep it somewhere in the document, like I usually show it in the class. So we can do that as well. So I normally store my credentials here. So my script read the credential from notepad and then it automatically inputs to the devices. So everything is possible if you know the fundamentals here. And let me show you the curriculum as well. So any doubt, guys, meanwhile?
Will this cover like a DevNet associate course?
Yes, it will. So the API part which I showed you, that would be the DevNet syllabus, okay?
Okay, so you will be covering with Python as well?
Yes, right. That is why one example I had put here.
So Python you will cover with Python and with the Postman.
You mean to say the API in the Python, right? Or
yeah.
or the traditional Python which I just showed you for router and switches?
Not for the API, just for the traditional legacy networks.
Yes. I'll be showing that.
So if Python with the API, it will be the different. You will cover that.
That is also covered, as well as the traditional is also covered. So when you say Python, you remember we can, with Python, we can do SSH automation and the API automation. So this will be covered in the starting classes itself, like day 2, day 3, day 4, and API I will cover it in the DevNet portion.
Okay.
Okay,
So
that is why, yeah.
In the class, so you will cover with the F5 also as well, just which you showed.
Yeah, so for API, I mean for any as such, both SSH API, I'll usually consider F5, Palo, uh, some example of ACI. These few devices I don't have in my lab. I have to depend on the Cisco sandbox. So sometimes there would be some challenges accessing them, but if you're good with this, then you can automate ACI and SD-WAN via APIs.
ACI, there is an option like query in the GUI itself. We can get that script from the Postman. Normally, I used to do that one. There is an option in the ACI. So whenever we create a bridge domain or anything, it will fetch what we are doing it. So I copy that singular command and post it on the Postman group.
Yeah,
in the Postman.
Okay. Now what I'm saying is, this is not hosted on our lab. It is,
I got your point.
Yeah, it is hosted on a public Cisco sandbox.
Yeah, sandbox.
Yeah, whereas this I have in my local lab. I can also give you the access. So if you are testing any API, you can test on our servers. Palo, F5, FortiGate. These are all we having. We can give you ACI and all SD-WAN, but let's see. I mean, if you need, we can arrange something for that. Okay.
Yeah, sure. Noted.
Okay. So regarding the, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Then should you know before attending the classes?
Sorry, I didn't get you.
How much Python should you know?
No, you don't need to know anything because I'll start with scratch. I told you, right? From Monday, I'll cover the theory. Okay. Yeah, I'll provide you some 7 to 8 hours of the Python theoretical videos before the class. If you have your time, you can watch it, but that is not any compulsory thing. You just come up blank, and I'll guide you from the scratch. Okay. All right, regarding the curriculum, guys, you guys can check this link. I'll drop it here on the Zoom chat as well. So this is the DevNet portion. I have put up the official link as well, which will have the complete detail of the official blueprint. That is from the certification point of view, Cisco Devnet 200 or 200901. And this is from all your enterprise or from your company or day-to-day production point of view. So we cover NetMiko. We have Ansible. Then we will move towards Nornio, NEPAM, subprocess. There's all few examples of Telnet, not much there with Telnet. Then this is the theory which I'll start on day 1. Okay, all the theory. This is Paramiko, PyNTC. And throughout the curriculum, there would be 15 to 20 projects. So projects are like, if we do something for like 2 weeks, and I give something on something to build or some script to build, so that you can start writing your code yourself. So it's kind of assignment or project which should be given to you. So total 15 projects should be given throughout it. Okay. All right. So guys, you want to see some more examples? I can show you guys. Have you guys anytime build any regex or any Excel with any informations?
When the classes will start? This actual.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm planning to keep it on 10th. Not 10th. On 11th, which is the Monday, which is going to be next Monday.
And what will be the timings be?
Timing is the present time. It would be 10 p.m.
10 p.m. to
10 p.m. India hours to 11 p.m. 1 hour.
1 hour.
Yes.
Okay.
Can we
How
start
long?
little late? Can we start little late? Because I stay in Dubai. At least 15-20 minutes little late because it's
Okay.
Ramadan time. So just I'm asking if it's possible 10
Yeah,
15 minutes.
we can do that at least for a few more days until you finish all your fest. Okay, so that's doable.
Okay,
Uh,
fine. Yeah, perfect.
Also,
Perfect.
can we cover on weekends? Because I
Actually, I'm already having a weekend batch with might be 30-40% done. Started last month. So if you are
oh,
looking for weekend batch, you can try joining this and then take a jump to the weekend, which will start in might be 2 months from now.
the weekend batch will start from in 2 months from now. You're saying, right?
Yes.
And this batch is on Mondays only, or
Yeah. This is Monday to Thursday.
Monday to Thursday, 1 hour. Okay. Okay, and because this is like my work time, I'm in US, so I can take 1 hour, but not sure I'll have to, like, I have meetings and stuff, right? So will this be recorded if I miss anything?
Yes, yes. All sessions are recorded, put up on the same day, and it's a lifetime accessible as well. And also in case those guys who join weekdays but for some reason cannot attend, then you can take a free jump towards the weekend also when I start the weekend batch.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. Thank you. So I'll be dropping. So nothing more
Yeah,
you're going to cover?
nothing. I just a few Q&A. Okay.
Okay.
And
Thank
for
you.
how long the course period?
The total duration will go 2 months to 2.5 months. Okay.
Okay.
So Sagar, after this course, it will be helpful for getting certification at least associate level, like
Yes,
Devnet.
yes. Yes, I'll give you some reading materials and some sort of practice set also for Devnet paper.
Okay.
So where you can attempt your own paper before writing the actual real paper. So we have some environment where we have put some quiz type of questions. So they are very similar to the multi question answer pattern. So where you can first test out and might be you can practice some more time and then you can write it. They are not 100% gonna be the same, but it's something like preparation kind of thing, like frequently asked questions.
Okay.
All right. So any doubt? Anyone has any doubt?
What would be the fee and all? Will you be
For that you have to write back to our team and they will guide you. Okay. So I think in the Zoom chat, the backend has put up all the details. So just write an email or contact over WhatsApp and they will guide you the enrollment process.
okay? Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you
All
so
right.
much, Sagar. It was a
Yeah.
great
All
session.
right, guys. Yeah. So if it is all good for the day, let's wind up.
Hi,
And yeah, go ahead.
I'm new to Python. This Postman is a part of Python, or Ansible is part of Python, or something new apart from the Python?
They are not part of neither of each. Okay, they are all three different entities.
Okay.
See,
So
for
all are covered in this syllabus?
yes. See, I'll just tell you, Python and Ansible are your programming tools or programming language.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
and Python has two methods, two ways to connect to the network devices, either SSH or HTTP.
Okay.
we have different libraries here using which we can do it. Whereas in Ansible, by default, it is written in such a way that it can also handle SSH and HTTP. Now, where is your API coming? API is coming in this topic. Okay, so API is not a programming language or something. API is just the call that we make using Python script or using any Postman application to fetch or to configure or to do something. It relies over on HTTP protocol.
Okay.
So this is how it's put up. Whereas Python and Ansible are your programming languages where you write your script. Okay.
And Postman?
Postman is just the application. Say, for example, you need an application where you can write your program, right?
Okay.
So you have PyCharm, where you will write all scripts, run it, test your script. Now people who don't want to write their own script, they can go with Postman, which is a dashboard like thing, where you can just put some API URL and call it. So these are like your tools, application tools.
Okay.
Okay. So I hope I cleared your doubt.
Yes.
All right, guys. So let's wind up and let's connect on Monday. Okay. So thank you, everyone.
Same time on Monday, right?
Yeah, Monday, same time, 10 p.m.
Okay, fine. Thanks.
Okay, and yeah, 15 minutes late. So which I had promised the other person. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.